Hello, or welcome back to the Scale Modelling Cafe. Welcome to what for me is a very exciting review actually, and that is of this thing here, the Laminar Flow Designs Spitfire Mk.XIV set in 1/48 scale. Now, bit of a confession, I've already started the project, but I filmed the review before this kind of intro and outro bit. So yeah, continuity, yeah, bit awkward. The reason I have started building the kit is I did the review on the bench first before filming this intro, and it looks so amazing I couldn't help myself, and I've dived straight into the project. So far I'm actually doing the cockpit at the moment using as many of the cockpit bits as are appropriate for a high back Mk.XIV. I've done the wing conversion here, so you'll see in the review these sort of E-wing cannon bulges, which they're all actually lined up for the other gun from the Mark C. This is based on the Edward Mark 8 kit, so it's got the C-wing with the correct short wingspan, but you do have to modify the cannon bulges, and it's also got the correct wing fuel tank. So the Mark 14 had the wing fuel tank like the Mark 8, so I've done that. I've also done the extra hatch on the right hand side of the fuselage. What I've done there is I deviated slightly. You'll see that actually you get the template in order to cut the panel out, and then you get a plug that you plug in from the inside of the fuselage. And I decided not to go down that route. I've gone slightly different in that I marked out with the pen. I put the template on, marked it out with the pen, filled in the rivets with super glue, sanded it down, wiped away the all the pen, and then I put the template back on, and I used that to scribe the panel, and then I've just gone in and I've riveted the double vertical lines to replace the rivets. And for me, I think that's easier than cutting the panel out and trying to be really exact where there's no panel line there at all. I suppose you could scribe and then drill and then cut it out around the scribed panel, I guess, but I thought that would give a neater result, and I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. But you know, modeller's choice. And then the last thing is I've cut the nose out, I've painted it in metallic paint in Ammo A stand, polished away the texture that you get, which actually under the metallic paint you couldn't see anyway. It only revealed itself when, with a very, very fine sanding sponge, I just took the paint off to reveal the kind of the texture, and then just very quickly polished it away, and the underlying detail is not affected at all. And I've also done the spinner as well with a magnet. So that's what I've done so far, and I'm quite far down the cockpit route. Next job for that is the wiring. But like I say, what we'll do now then is so you've seen a little bit of progress just here, but what I'll do is take you over to the bench, which I've already filmed quite a few days ago now, and you'll see how it all looks. So I'll see you over at the bench. Okay, here we are at the bench then, and I've got the instructions here. We'll just go through these, same as the ones you'll be familiar with if you've seen any of my other reviews, but we'll go through them one by one. Right, at the top, some gouge on working with 3D parts. If you've not worked with 3D parts before, I recommend you read these. And then there's some gouge here about choosing the base kit. So there are numerous options that you can do from these sets, high back, low back, E-wings, C-wings, all this kind of stuff. And whichever ones you want to do, it just gives you some options here with different cages, and I'll show you that in a moment, and various Edward kits. Then we're into the basic assembly, and as you can see, I'll just move across. As you can see here, I've already started mine by cutting bits and pieces out. Cuts are along the panel lines. Just study them. They're quite small. They're not the clearest, but it is actually fairly straightforward. Down here, it tells you to cut this little slot in for the fin, because that's going to secure it a little bit more securely. That's phrased that badly, didn't I? But you know what I mean. And there's some gouge here about access hatches and stuff as well, as you can see here. Over the page, this is for the low back, and it tells you how to swap the tails, because obviously the Mark 14 had the retractable tail wheel and the Mark 16 did not. I'm going to try and avoid this on mine first. I'm going to try and modify this area on the 16 kit, and if it doesn't go so well, doesn't matter, I can just cut it off and I've got a spare fuselage. Replacing some of the hatches. This is an actual hatch replacement, so it's telling you that you can this is the template, so scribe it out, then you can cut it out and then you can replace a hatch. Or what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to scribe this in and do a bit of filling of rivets and things like that. I think that might be easier, but I'm doing 2 of these kits, so I will maybe do both ways and just see which is easier. Because you're replacing the entire nose, what Matthew's done is he hasn't actually printed the mounting because of the risk of using super glue to glue it on and then fogging the canopy. Personally, I would have preferred to see this molded with the part, and I'll just use a bit of Ammo Ultra or any other glue, Transperfix, you know, any non-super glue will do by gluing it. Even white glue would do. So this is a bit of a faff. You've got to cut out a template for the mounting for the windscreen. Yeah, I would have included that personally. Right, underneath, some more cutting to do. You just got to remove the Vokes carb intake here, just so the Mark 14, oh sorry, I'll just move it up, just so the Mark 14 carb intake, which I've already cut out, this bit here, can mount in. Right, now this is mounting the nose and then the wings to fuselage. So Matthew's come up with this method here of mounting your wing. It works well. He does say, though, model is free to adapt his own view, so you can do it however you like. But this is just a suggestion, and on the first one I'm going to follow this, and then I might do some dry fits on the second one and see if there's any other way that also works. But I'm definitely going to follow the instructions for the first one. Mounting the spinner and the prop. Again, I'm going to probably deviate from this a little bit and use magnets like I did on the Mark 12. Oops, sorry, just nudged the camera. Right. Mounting the tail post. So this looks like it might be a little bit weak initially. So you mount the elevators first. Obviously you've only got the bottom area, so make sure it all is square and everything, and then you can just bung the tail post over the top, and inevitably you're going to have to do a little bit of fairing in there, probably with a bit of Mr. Surfacer. But I've done a dry fit and the fit is pretty good so far. And then the last bit is the radiators. They just pop in. Dead easy. There we go. There's a bit of gouge on how to do it as well, so read that first, because there are lots of mounting points on here which do need a bit of cleanup, but that should be fairly straightforward. So that is really the main of the conversion. But as alluded to, there's some other sets. So this is cage 3. Cage 1 and 2 you get in the just the basic conversion. Cage 3 is for the FR mods. So you do get these fairings. Check your references. Not all of them had them. Alright. And you're going to have to find a clear disc. But it gives you all the dimensions. There you go, 5.4 millimeters. And again, just working through, cutting bits out. All the templates are provided, so you can do all your cuttage as required. And then this is the E-wing conversion. So if you're going to do if you've got the Mark 8 kit or the Mark 9C kit, I don't know why you want to use that. You need the Mark 8 for the retractable tail wheel, but you've got the E-wing conversion here. So you're just going to cut out the gun panel, and this should slot in nice. There's also tells you to filling in the three holes and the cartridge ejection holes. But check your references, because I've seen all sorts of configurations with E-wings on these late Spitfires. Some without the 303 machine guns or anything as per this, some with the gun ports, so check your references. If you're going to do a low back or Mark 18, you need the broad rudder, and that is included in cage 3. So that's cage 3. Cage 4 is a cockpit set. You get a new instrument panel, but no decals. You're going to have to find your own decals. This is all what it tells you. A couple of throttle quadrants, electric switches, access doors, waffle foot guards, priming pump, new landing gear quadrant, crank handle and cover for the low back. So pretty comprehensive set. Here is a throttle quadrant separated. Look at that. No green. I can't see any green on that, but it is in a museum, so who knows. And here is mounted in the aeroplane. It's all black there, look. Alright, so you've got all this extra gouge. 2 different types of throttles depending on the gun sight. So again, check your references. So a reflector or gyro, early C-wing reflector. Most of them's probably got the gyro. So there's your reflector. So that's for an early C-wing. Most of them are going to have this one. But you could put this in any sort of Spitfire, early Spitfire Mark 9, anything like that, or even a Mark 5. I imagine it's very similar. Right, here's a photo of the real thing. This is the priming pump, which is missing from the kit, and some very handy photos about where it actually goes. So absolutely brilliant. There's your throttle quadrant, and there's this electrical switch blah going down here, which is just down here. So really cool. Anyway, that's the instructions. Enough of that. Let's have a look at the cage and the cages. So this is the main part of it, I guess. Here's the nose in here, carb intake. What's really, really cool is, watch this. So your radiators are on a separate mounting plate, and it's designed to slot in. I'm not going to get this back in now, I've moved it around. There we go. It's designed to slot in to there, and that is brilliant. What I've done already, in true Blue Peter fashion, some of my foreign guests are not going to know what that is, but here's the cage, okay, and I've removed some of the bits, and I'll show you that in a moment. But all I did is just using, I've got quite a stout razor saw, is I just sawed through these main supports, weakened these, and then it just snaps off, and you can just lift it out like that. This stuff is actually quite brittle, so just be tempted not to snap everything off, because you might damage some of the parts. But yeah, that's what I did. Razor saw, and then that just comes away comme ça, and then you can just clean things up. So this is the nose. I'll try and get some extra, turn down the glare, some extra lightage on it. So that is just beautiful. I'm going to do what I did on the Mark 12. I'm going to spray this with an ammo A-stand metallic, and then polish it back. You might be able to hear that. You might be able to hear the texture, but I can't see it. Even with the glasses on, I can't see it. It'll only be revealed when I polish it after it's had its silver coat. But that is lovely. I've even, he says I can't even pick it up. I've even just removed this. Not really too much cleanup. You can see it's a little bit rough around here, but that doesn't matter. The spin is just going to mount in there, and I'll probably put a magnet in there, and then a magnet on the back of the spinner. So that's the nose. Some of the other bits I've done, as I showed earlier, is just the carb intake. This joint here, I've just managed to damage it ever so slightly, removing it. It's a little bit rough, but I'll just clean that up. That's no drama. And then if you look in there, you might be able to see, you might not, some of the mesh. Just brilliant. I've also removed one of, or actually both, of the radiators. And then this part here actually has a strengthening plate with holes in. You just cut that out very quickly, clean it up, and then
you can put your, I don't know which way around it goes actually, probably this way around. Again, I still need to do a little bit more cleanup, but then that will just slot in there like that. The radiators themselves I've actually left on this plate for ease of painting, so I'll just spray those silver. I'll probably do that at the same time as I silverize the nose, and then that will just take a wash beautifully. You can see that texture on there. And I've also removed just some of the propeller blades. These just snapped off. Dead easy. And you see they're going to mount, they're keyed. Don't you can see that? They're keyed. So that'll set the blade angle perfectly. Lovely stuff. That's pretty much this cage. There's a few just here on the plate. Look, there's a few, there's a couple of scoops here, a few spares, and this is for the spinner. And again, I've just left them because they're quite small and I don't want to lose them. So I'll just leave that on the plate until I'm ready to use them. So that's that cage. The other cage you get in the basic set is this one. Here you've got your radiators and again, some of these jobs, the actual radiators themselves. Here's your templates for your scribing. Doors and hatches in there. Two types of exhaust, fishtail and round. So again, check your references. The spinners here. Show you that way around. And then the tail in the rudder. And again, I've actually removed the tail on one of mine. Where did that go? I thought I got that out ready to show you. Yes, I did. Here's the tail. I've removed the tail from the other one. And as you can see, all your rivet detail, your panel line detail is just exquisite, and that's going to match the exquisite detail on the kit perfectly. So that's cage 2. So that is your basic set. Right, what was 3? Was the FR mods. Right, which ones? Where's my 3? So here's the FR mods here. FRE. What you get in here is you get the extended rudder with deflected trim tab, perfectly razor thin. That's just incredible. There's the E-wing panels. You can see how they mount. They just mount from inside. So as long as you cut it out accurately, they should be pretty seamless. Some more templates here for all your photo reconnaissance gubbins. You get a camera as well. Here's your fairings, and then these are the camera mounting supports that go on the inside of the fuselage. So that's the FR mods. Everything's labelled up, as you can see on the outside. Lovely job. You can see here some missing bits. That's the fin. So I actually removed the fin from this one, just so I could show you. Right, the cockpit set then. Here it is, just a few parts. So 2-part instrument panel, and I don't know if you can see that just in there, but you've got the raised dials, so you can put your, or you know, hand paint if you want, but you could put your decal on there, or your separate decals from Annie's or Airscale, and then paint this up separately, leave that gloss, and that should just pop over the top. And there's the new door, and all the other gubbins in there. If I do that, you might be able to see the. That's a bit better, isn't it? Right, there you can see that better. I'll use this to point with. So there's your throttle quadrant. Undercarriage thing. Priming pump. Just in there. Electrical switching box thing. There's your waffle whatever. Just beautiful. Okay, I'll leave you with the nose while I just have a brief chat then. I think you'll agree that's just absolutely stunning, isn't it? Oh, look, finger bob. Absolutely stunning set, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this properly. As you can see, I've already made a start and just super excited about the process. Right, let's nip back over to the chair then for a bit of a wash up.
Okay, there we are. The Laminar Flow Designs Spitfire Mk.XIV conversion in 1/48 scale. Just beautiful, I think you'll agree. The detail is absolutely stunning. The refinement of panel lines, the rivets, things like that are amazing. The innovation in this, in all the little tricks of how things fit and templates and all that kind of stuff, is just genius. And so far I'm loving the project. It's not been that difficult at all. Bit brave chopping up a model kit, but totally worth it. As I said in the intro, I'm doing the high back right now. As soon as that's built and ready for primer, it's going to be onto the bubble top. I'm going to get that in primer and then I'm going to paint both at the same time. And I still haven't decided what schemes I'm going to do. So much variety, but this is an absolutely wonderful set. And just up there I've got the 32nd scale Mk.XIV, which no idea when I'm going to get be able to shoehorn that into my schedule, but desperate to shoehorn it in. I am, because I'm absolutely loving this. It's just fabulous. The 48 range is going to expand. Matthew is working on the Mk.XII in 48 scale. I built the Mk.XII in 32nd scale. I thought I'd ease myself into these conversions and do that first, because that is a lot more straightforward than this one. Don't have to faff about with the tail or anything like that. I did the fixed undercarriage one using the Mark 9 Tamiya kit as a base. But I just think these are absolutely fabulous and I can't get enough of them. And yeah, expect more from Laminar Flow Designs on the Scale Modelling Cafe for sure. So keep your eyes out for lots of projects and reviews coming very soon. All right, I'll leave it there. Time to get on with the bench and get wiring up the cockpit. And I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye-bye.